ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you to our first debate of second hour in the 2018-2019 school year. Let's give our debaters a round of applause. Yay! All right, today we have our Prime Minister who's going to start off our debate, and that is Luke Ropey. Please remember, Mr. Speaker, to watch Vera for your time. You have 3 minutes maximum. Are you ready, Speaker?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Timekeeper, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, whenever you speak, she will begin the time.
Hi, my name is Luke Ropey, and I am the Prime Minister of the government. I would like to thank my partner, Hope Mueller, for being here, the opposing team for standing in and listening to our argument, the audience for listening, timekeeper, and judges. Today, we will be debating about the topic if students have an A in a class, if they should take a final or not. And the government would like to prove the side that they should take the final, even if they do have an A. Our first point we made concerning this topic was, say if a student at St. Paul's misses a day of school on their final, they have to pay extra money. So, it wouldn't be fair to the students who don't have to take it to not pay money, because if someone is sick, they still have to pay money to retake the final that they missed. Our second point that we made is that in some classes at St. Paul's, your final is not a huge percentage of your grade, of one's grade. So it may not affect you as much as one would think. Our third point is, say one person at St. Paul's has a low A and would like to improve it and really solidify their grade and make sure it is a solid and good A. They can take their final, which may help them, not a whole lot, but it can help them and make it a higher A. So if one has, say, a 95 in the class, and they would like to have a higher A, they can raise it with the final, even though it is not a huge percentage. And say they're struggling and they do well on tests, they can help and have a better sense of feeling, possibly if they do well on the final. Yet again, I would like to restate the 3 points that I made, or the government made. The first one being, if one misses a final, they would have to pay extra money. So it would not be fair to have the decision to not take the final without having to pay money like everyone else if they miss it. The second point was, the final isn't a huge percentage of your grade, so it may not hurt you as much, but it may also hurt you. And our third and final point was, it can improve your grade to a higher percentage A. So if you have a lower percentage A, you can get it up to a higher percent. I would like to thank my partner for being here, Hope Mueller, also the opposing team for following along and listening, the audience, the timekeeper, and the judges. Thank you, and vote for the government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:53.
Awesome, 2:53. Madam Timekeeper, or Miss Timekeeper, I should say, would you please put 1 minute on the clock for Jackson to prepare his arguments? Thank you very much. Audience members, you may quietly discuss, if you need be, to discuss what it is that you saw happening here in the debate. Okay, go ahead.
Time is up.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Timekeeper. I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jackson with a round of applause, please, as the first speaker for the opposition with a speech that should not exceed only 3 minutes, okay? 3 minutes only, please. Mr. Speaker, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ms. Timekeeper, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may go ahead and begin.
Hello, my name is Jackson Wells, and I'm the leader of the opposition. I would like to thank Aaron Kirby, my partner, for being here today. I would like to thank the opposition for also being here. I would also like to thank the audience, the timekeeper, and the judge for their time today. Today we'll be going over the topic, if students have an A, should they have to take their final? Should they have to take a final? And we are opposing the idea that they would have to take a final. The government's first point was that if you miss school that day, you have to pay an extra fine for taking it, for not being able to take it that day. Well, the opposition believes that if you miss school that day, if you don't have to take the test, then say you don't have to take the test, and that could possibly mean that you don't have to pay that extra money at all. You don't even have to worry about it. Their second point was that the final isn't always a large grade. And the way we refute that is if the final isn't that large of a grade, then it might not actually need to be exactly, if it's not that big of a point against your grade, then really you shouldn't need to worry about it if you don't even have to take that grade. Their third point was if you have a low A and you want to solidify your grade as a proper upper A. The way that me and my partner see it is that if you have a lower grade in that class, then that's still an excellent grade according to our rules of if students have an A. So that would still be considered a good enough grade to take finals and should be worth it. You shouldn't have to take it because it's still an excellent grade. So we would like to go over our points again. First off, if you're missing school that day, if you don't have to take the test, then you don't have to pay in the first place. Our second point was if the final isn't that big anyways, then not taking it is all right. And if you can't...
Stop.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. That's all right, let's give him a round of applause. And we'll set that one right at 3 minutes. Yes, Ms. Timekeeper?
Yes.
All right, 3 minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go ahead and chalk it up over to the government for 1 minute preparation for Hope. If you would please, Ms. Timekeeper, 1 minute on the clock. Thank you.
Go. Thirty seconds. Seconds. Stop.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Timekeeper. Appreciate your help. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and welcome Hope, please, as the second speaker for the government with a round of applause, please. All right, we would like to remind Ms. Speaker and Ms. Timekeeper that this is a speech that should not exceed 3 minutes, please. It's 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. The last two speeches are 2 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and Ms. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Almost. Yes.
Okay, Ms. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and begin.
Hello, I am Hope Mueller, and I am the member of the government. I'd like to thank my partner, Luke Ropey, for being here, and the opposition for being here as well. I'd also like to thank the audience, the timekeepers, and the judges for being here. The point of this debate is whether or not, if you have an A, if you should take a final. And we are on the side that you shouldn't take a final. So you should take the final even if you have an A. I would like to review what the opposition's points were from the last talk. The opposition said if you miss school, you don't have to take the test if you have an A. We would like to refute that by saying taking the test anyways is a process and learning, processing what you have learned over the school year or the semester, depending on which final you take. The second point that the opposition has stated is that even if it is not that large of a percentage, you might not need to worry about it. We would like to refute that by saying you would like to take this final to see how far you have come in the class anyways. It doesn't matter if the percentage is super small for the final. You would like to take it to see how far you have gotten in the class. The third point that the opposition has made is that even if it is a low grade A, that is still an excellent grade. And just because of that, we would like to say that the government would like to say that the point of school and the point of St. Paul's is to look back and to improve on anything. Even if it is a small percentage, we would like to improve further. Just because it is an excellent grade, that doesn't mean we like to keep it that way. We want to improve even more. So I'd like to review the points. The opposition said if you miss school, you don't have to take the test. We said that you to take the test to process everything we learned. The opposition has also said, for number 2, is that the percentage is not that large. We might not need to worry about it. The government said, or we say, you take it to see how far you've gotten in the class. And the third point the opposition has said is that even if it is a low grade A, it's still an excellent grade. We like to say it's a point to improve. So I'd like to thank my partner, Luke Ropey, for being here, the opposition for being here, the judges, timekeeper, and audience for being here, and please vote for the government.
All right, thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:38.
All right, 2:38. Thank you very much. All right, Miss Timekeeper, will you please put 1 minute on the clock for Kirby to go ahead and start his arguments? Thank you so much.
Go. Ten seconds. Time.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Timekeeper. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Kirby a round of applause and welcome him as speaker for the opposition. You can definitely raise that microphone, sir. There you go. I appreciate that. All right, Mr. Speaker, just so you remember, it is only a 3-minute speech. Miss Timekeeper 2, that applies to you. Only 3 minutes for this speech. Miss Timekeeper, are you ready? You all right? You good?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Miss Timekeeper is ready. Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and begin.
Hello, my name is Aaron Kirby. I'm a member of the opposition, and I would like to thank my partner, Jackson Wells, the government for coming and listening, the timekeeper, the judges, and the audience. Thank you. Today we are talking about if students who have an A should take a test. We are against the fact that they should take a test. All right, now, if I can review the points made by the government, they said, for the first one, taking the test anyway will will show that what you have learned in the class. We would like to go against that, saying that if you would have a better class to study for, a grade you may not be doing as well as an A in, why would you want to worry about showing what you've learned in the class you already have an A in? For the second point, they said that taking the test you can see for yourself how far you've come in that class. As stated before, and again, if you have an A, you should not have to see how far you've come because you're doing so well in the class. There's no point in seeing how far I've come in a class I already understand so well. And for the third point, they said, as at St. Paul, you should improve on anything. If you have a better class to study for, you should look to improve that. A class you may have a B in, you may have a grade that is not an A. Why would you want to focus on a to improve an A when you could focus more on improving a B? If we could like to review our points, if you have a better class to study for, then you should do that over than seeing what you have learned in a class that you already have a good grade in. If you have an A, you should not be focused on trying to see how far you have come in the class. And for the third point, you may have a more important class to study for than studying for a class with an A. I would like to thank my partner, Jackson Wells, the government for listening, the timekeeper, the audience, and the judges. And vote for the opposition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:12.
2:12. Thank you very much. All right. Now remember, Jackson, we're coming back to you to support your partner, develop his ideas, and then kind of close everything off. All right. 1 minute on the clock, please, Miss Timekeeper, if you'd be so kind. Thank you very much.
Thirty seconds. Stop.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Miss Timekeeper. Let's give a round of applause for our final Speaker of the Opposition. With a round of applause. We'd like to remind Miss Timekeeper and Mr. Speaker that these speeches should only last 2 minutes in length. Do we understand? Only 2 minutes this time, Miss Timekeeper. Yes? It'll be 2-1 and then just continue on, okay? So 2-1, not 3-2-1. Got it? You got it? Okay. All right. Miss Timekeeper, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and begin.
Hello, my name is Jackson Wells. I am the leader of the opposition. I would like to thank the government for being here. I would like to thank my partner for being here, and I'd like to thank the audience, judges, and timekeeper. Today we are, of course, talking about whether students with an A in a class should have to take a final, and we are against it. One of the government's previous points was that you should take the test anyway to see how far you have come, and we stated that you might have a class that you have come farther in or have better studied or have better class for it. The government also stated that you might want to take the final just to see how far you have come in. And we stated that if you have an A in that class, then you might already have a better understanding of that class already. For example, you wouldn't want to study a lot for a final that you know a lot in. You might not want to spend so much time on that one subject. The government's third point was that here at St. Paul's, they want us to improve on everything. And we stated that you might have a class that you should improve on more. If you have a lower grade in a class, you most likely should probably focus on that lower grade class. So just to review again, we stated that you might have a class that you already have a farther progress in. Secondly, you might have an A in a class that you have already wanted for a long time. Or you might have a class that is a bit more important to study for. Once again, I'd like to thank the opposition, thank my partner, thank the audience, and vote for the government.
Stop. Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. That's all right. Let's give a round of applause. And I'm assuming that's right at 2.
Yeah,
All righty, right at 2. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go ahead and put 1 minute on the clock, please, for Luke to prepare his arguments, please. Thank you so much.
Go.
Bless you. You can't add viewpoints. Like you did.
Stop.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Timekeeper. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and give a nice warm welcome for Luke, please, with a round of applause, as the final speaker for this debate and for the government. Let me remind you, please, Miss Timekeeper and Mr. Speaker, that this is a speech that should not exceed 2 minutes only, please. Miss Timekeeper, are you ready?
Oh, not yet.
All right. You need something?
No, I was just writing something down.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now I'm ready.
Okay, Miss Timekeeper is ready. Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hi, I'm Luke Ropey, and I'm the Prime Minister of the government. And I would like to thank my partner, Hope Mueller, for being here, member of the government, the opposition for being here, the audience, timekeeper, and judges. Today, we were refuting on if students should have to take a final if they already have an A in the class. And on the side of the government, we think you should anyway. To restate the side of the opposition and what they said, their first point was, if you have a better class that you don't have an A in, you can go ahead and study for it. What we would like to say is, and help refute that, is the bigger point of St. Paul's is to help process everything you've learned. So, even if you already have an A in the class, you can see how well you actually know what you know. And this can help you do better in your future. The second point they made was there is no point in seeing how you have already done in the class if you already have an A. And we would like to say is you would like to see how far you actually got in the class. So maybe you may not already know how far you got. The third point they made was you are to look to improve on a class you don't have an A in. But how we refute it is we say you would like to improve on everything, not just a class you don't have an A in. So to restate the points we made is to process everything you learned, see how far you've gotten in the class, and to improve on everything. I would like to thank my partner, Hope Mueller, for being here, the opposition for being here, the timekeeper, audience, and judges. And remember to vote for the government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
151.
151. That brings us to the end of our first debate. Let's give all debaters a round of applause for being the first ones up there. All right, thank you very much, debaters. All right, here's what we need to have happen now. Let me shut off the camera.